That's the best part. The truck that will never be built. Get out of here. Was like seven. That guy is so good, man. He took his bag. Got. All right, folks. You know it's my favorite time of the week. It's noon central on Wednesday. You know what that means. It's the whale webinar. A few little housekeepings. Well, actually, I'm jumping the gun. Obviously, joined Sandy's back, the big fella. Fill some time for us. Tell us where you've been. Where have you been? You've been gallivanting, Mr. Worldwide.
Went to Valencia. Way better than Barcelona.
Okay, so Valencia is South Spain, yeah?
Yep.
Amazing.
Rob and I spent a couple weeks together in Barcelona. It's a very romantic trip.
You were dead half the time. You got crushed by the jet lag. Jet lag, that's like -7, or you're actually -8. Yeah, it's like the perfect like offset. Powerful Barcelona geek out. And then where else did you go? You went real rich, right? Super bouge.
Well, we went to Venice for a few days, which was awesome. Definitely, I think like a one and done place, but like so cool to go.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta see it, right?
Yeah. And then we went to Monaco.
Ooh, how was that?
It's crazy, man. It's wild. I mean, thankfully my wife's company paid for the hotel and the trip, but definitely a very expensive city to visit, even in the off season.
Yeah.
So our hotel was attached to the casino in Casino Royale. And it was
come on. That's brilliant. That's amazing.
I would have ordered nothing but martinis the whole time. I would have bought a tuxedo there just to rock it.
Pretty much what I did. I had the James Bond.
Sat outside and took pictures of the Ferraris. It's fine.
He came James Bond. That's amazing. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. If you have any questions, pop them in the chat. Today's show, the housekeeping stuff. Make sure everybody is voting. I am dropping the voting form in right here. Or you can go to triplewhale.com, vote. We have 8 categories of whaleys. If you guys haven't heard, we're hosting a D2C awards show. I am sorry. I have no more tickets to give away, even if I wanted to. We are at Fire Code. Unless you send me a pair of Air Dior's in an 8.5 and or What the Dunks in an 8.5, I might be able to scrounge one up for you. But no, I mean, this is a boy band style sellout here in the 90s. I mean, it's going to be packed. Both Taylor of these Swift gentlemen, Taylor Swift, that's exactly. Both of these. Oh, the type form's not working. Oh man, go here. Oh, hi Amy, how are you? Carlos, just go here 1 second. triplewhale.com/vote. That should work. Oh, look who decides to show. Is this really you, or is this you booting up your AI? And that's why it took you so long, and that's why you're late. I don't even know. Have you guys seen? Man, I'm all over the place. Sorry. Get the votes for the whaleys. 8 categories. Amazing humans. Everybody's gonna win one. Should I unveil the whaley? We should wait. You should have to be there to see the whaley. But I will say, we also have some of the best merch, and you guys can't see, but that whole wall next to me is the outside, like the kind of bullpen. We have a wall of boxes. The swag bag's literally going to be like Oscar-esque, where there's going to be probably like $2,000 worth of gear in there. It's crazy. So the shtick is, though, to make sure people show up and don't get hammered on the 31st, because we have a welcome party at 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. The first 100 people are only getting swag bags. We only have swag bags for 100 people. And we sold way more than 100 tickets.
So I'm not getting a swag bag, is what you're saying. Great.
Yeah, probably not. The people come first, Logan. Unfortunately. I know. The other thing is we just dropped our 5-panel. Fantastic, beautiful piece of merch. And then lastly, we're going to be unveiling a lot of this cool stuff that we're actually going to be talking about. AJ decided that he wanted to actually do kind of an Apple-esque unveil at the whaleys. So we're not punting generative AI right now, but we won't actually show you a ton of the product, but we're actually going to get into some cooler, more interesting ideals, how things are going to be kind of netting out some hypotheses there. And then what else I got, Sonder? I think that's it. I think we can jump in.
You're just always having to be agile, You just got all these things thrown at you for the whaleys.
It's exactly survival mode. Events are a weird one. There's a funny saying about startups, and I think it's the same thing about events, is there's only 2 kind of states of emotion in early stage startups, either euphoria or like terrified. That's kind of how events are, where it's like, oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever. Like, how are we going to fit people in? Anyways. All right. Whaleys aside, Logan, how do you want to jump into how marketing evolves and becomes augmented and possibly taken over by artificial intelligence or AI?
Yeah, well, I mean, we can talk about like augmenting marketing efforts right now, right? So I think it's what I wanted. I was hoping Ilya could come in too. He's been doing some crazy good research on the topic, and I remember. So I'm going to use a little bit of like my own knowledge from what I was doing a couple years ago. I remember Copy AI dropping and Pencil AI dropping. Like it feels like about 2 years ago, and that was like a big deal because all of a sudden I could write product descriptions pretty fast. I could write emails. Now I had to deal with like some issues with like it actually being accurate, which maybe is still
for
a problem.
sure.
I'd love to learn more about like why it's inaccurate and how maybe can AI solve its own problem of accuracy? Because that's going to be an issue. And then like Pencil AI, which I think a lot of people maybe know or have tried at least, was on the forefront of being able to take creative from yourself and copy and meld together this melting pot of new creative for you on the spot, which was like really great because one of our biggest pain points was like photography, photo shoots, just creative output because we needed new ads every week. It was, so anyway, I was curious. There was something I read on Twitter that the power behind Chat GPT, which everybody's going crazy over now, the back end of that has always been around. Not always, but like it's been around for a few years, but this is just a new application of it. Is that right, Ilya?
Yep.
Okay.
That's correct. So yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. So we have this new application and
the model itself was there. It's just nobody cared or succeeded in building a nice intuitive UI in the form of a chat, which on its own is a pretty complicated and sophisticated problem. One explanation why nobody has succeeded or even tried is, and that's something I've picked up from Twitter, is that there's no defensibility in building that chatbot on top of existing OpenAI models, because OpenAI could build it and they would replace your paid service with a free solution or their paid solution.
Yeah. And so I think everyone listening probably already has seen some, at least on Twitter or elsewhere, has seen how people are using AI for like copy generation and ad generation, like creative. One thing that I wanted to ask the group about and discuss here that I've seen posts about, I don't know how valid it is. Can ChatGPT replace Google? Or is it simply like, can it scrape the web just like Google would and be the new search engine, which would make a huge, if it starts delivering product recommendations or websites in its service, do we now need to be, as e-commerce marketers, need to be worried about how we're getting placed in chat GPT responses? That's what I'm curious about right now.
It's an interesting point, Amy. You're right there. There's been a lot of, we've seen that in a lot of the entertainment industry. I mean, that's the Bing bet, right? I mean, that's why Microsoft
100%.
backed up the Brinks truck, was like, hey, how much you guys need? Like, just
Bill.
put that number in there and I'll sign that check and let's party. So it is, so Ilya, so for example, if I was going to Monaco and I wanted to take my beautiful wife out to Monaco in a restaurant, instead of going to Google, which my old butt would do, or even I'm even going to age myself even more, I'd use Yelp. The kids probably don't even know what that is. Like it's like CD era. But
you would have gone to Ask Jeeves first.
Here's a throwback. The kids will not get this one. You remember Urban Spoon, the OG iOS app, and you'd shake
I love
it. And
Urban
yeah, let's go, Urban Spoon. The kids don't get the references, but the point being, Ilya, instead of going to get recommendations from Google, people are going to TikTok, and so you would search best restaurant in Monaco or something like that, and then you would find all these cool restaurants with people doing TikToks, and then it services as that use case. And frankly, it's a richer experience versus having to come through a text wall, which is kind of what you were talking about with the things that make the success has to be melded in not only the underlying intellectual engine, but also the interface to unlock that value. And I think that can be a challenge to make both of those things come to light. But
I've heard about several reasons why today ChatGPT cannot fully replace Google. For example, speed. You would expect that like anytime you type anything to Google, you get instant response.
Mm-hmm.
With ChatGPT, it's always a few seconds, which, if you think about this, is not a big deal. But we're adrenaline junkies now. We need instant feedback everywhere, so that becomes slightly a problem. Another one is accuracy. You never really know what's going on in the head of ChatGPT. Sometimes it gives you true answers. Sometimes it hallucinates. But the way it gives you the answer, it really is very convincing. And so today, at least, ChatGPT doesn't have a solution yet for showing you like what are the sources of information. I'm seeing some papers now show up that suggest ways how to do that, where it will give you an answer and then it will cite certain resources it used to come up with that answer. That would make the data way more like provable and trustable. And so that would take it one step closer to having ChatGPT or similar solutions act as a Google search.
That's
it's interesting. I just remember, like, specifically with Copy AI back in the day, we were launching a new product line for David Bowie, right? And I'm not a huge David Bowie fan, so I didn't know a lot about him. But the idea was, I mean, I like him, but it's not like I don't know enough about him, like Grateful Dead or Fish or something, right? So I had Copy AI write all of our product descriptions and our marketing copy. But what was funny is that it probably took me maybe more time to go and fact check, because there'd be little things in there about like a tour, and I was like, that's a really cool fact. Is that real? And then I would like Google it, do some digging into like the davidbowie.com site. I was like, that doesn't seem right. And so I just wonder like how much work is going to have to be done by humans to fact check some of the content coming out of it.
Actually, I think if you look at what our social team is saying, that typos are a good thing to get some engagement in the ads. And then also having the incorrect facts probably about David Bowie's tour could have given you more engagement, which in turn would lower your CPMs. And who knows, maybe the outcome would have been better if you didn't make it.
I can't believe 10,000 people are coming to the Whaleys. Like, of course, why not? It works.
Yes, so ChatGPT actually knows that the fake news is actually going to improve our metrics. It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Also, that's a really good point, Maria, in the chat of right now it is lagging about 12 months, which is fairly significant, especially thinking about coming out of the pandemic, right? Like the world literally changed overnight. So if you were leveraging ChatGPT on, I think that kind of goes back to your overarching question where we started, Logan, where I think, like all things, it depends. I think certain historical stuff or being able to summarize or succinctly put into kind of like a nice little cadence or summary, that's what we're actually playing with now on the podcast network, where we'll grab a bunch of different articles from, like when I have people on ROAS, my assistant will do a bunch of research for me that I can then review to ask like questions and stuff like that. But what I'm doing now is just basically posting all that into Notion, because Notion has AI and you can do summarize. And I'm getting openers now for my podcast where it's taken into, to be fair, like I probably should be fact checking it, but it's coming from a source that I know, because I'm copying and pasting the article from the website. So it's not as big of an issue. I mean, maybe the website's wrong and then that's on me, but so I think it depends. But like if there's like how to invest or something like that, it's like the pandemic hit and then everything changed everything. So, or economics, or there's just a lot of dependencies on recency. And I think that's, for me, until ChatGPT figures that out, it's going to be challenging to totally replace Google. But I mean, Google's getting eaten up by Amazon as well, right? In the e-commerce market, where it's like you don't go to. I go to Amazon now if I want to buy something, where I used to go to Google.
You should be going to the Shopify app.
Oh, I got $110. I love the Shop Pay stuff. That's such a brilliant idea. I love it, love it, love it. Or Shop Cash, whatever it's called. Yeah. I've been I bought a big amethyst. You like this, Sander? I bought a big amethyst rock for the house. Oh. Keep my chakras aligned. Good juju 2023, baby. Let's go. And we are totally off the rails, folks.
All right, so let's take a second though, and let's talk about, because folks here are probably wanting more tangible. Like, so we've talked about what's happening in the ecosystem. Search is certainly something to maybe consider or worry about, but I want to know. So I wrote down like four or five.
I got some for you too.
Tools that I thought are doing a pretty good job right now. And I'm curious, I know you guys have heard of at least two of them. I'm curious if you've heard of the other ones. So I put these in a bucket. So Jasper, right, which it was probably making the most noise, mainly because they got like $1 billion or something. So they can just
raised
run through ads.
Boatload.
Yeah. So then Copysmith AI, which I think did copy originally, but now is pushing their landing page generator, which I think is really cool. Like, although I am extremely excited to meet Nick Sharma at the event next week and a big fanboy of him, like
Powerful Nick Sharma.
I think his landing page like service costs like $5,000. So like, can AI do that? Like just take a template that works well, learn from it, improve it, and just build these things for you? That's
That's
amazing to me.
interesting.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, that
Headline.
guy Jasper is actually in Austin. I forgot. What was the
Oh,
what was
nice.
the one you just said? The second one? I'm
So
gonna try and put the links here.
Copysmith AI.
Smith AI.
And
if you guys have any
they're only
questions,
landing pages on that.
No, they do like copy too, like copy AI and stuff like that. But it seems like everybody's doing copy. I think that's maybe the easiest thing, or maybe it's just been around the longest. And then Headline was also doing landing page creation, which was pretty neat. It has a slightly different angle than Copysmith. And then one that I thought hasn't been fully baked yet that might be really cool for marketers is Full Story. So what Full Story is trying to do is trying to use maybe machine learning and artificial intelligence to better understand the paths that are being taken on the website, like what are users all clicking on and aggregating it together into like views. So what I'm curious of is, will AI eventually be able to tell you where people are getting hung up, what the best paths are, and then actually change your website to the fastest point of conversion? I don't know if that'll happen, but that'd be interesting.
I agree. That would be amazing, especially if it can figure out who's looking at the website right now and what are their preferences. What is the best way to get them converted versus somebody else?
And like an example I thought of when reading the website was like, what if right now, which is kind of hard to do unless you review like screen recordings on your site, is what if people are getting to the size chart or something? I'm thinking apparel, but they get to the size chart and they're like, it's not good enough. And they're like, I don't really see anything that fits me. It doesn't make sense. And they just bail. But then like AI just automatically generates a brand new version of your size chart and just puts it on your site. And then like automatically shows you the conversion rate lift from a brand new size chart. It just, that would be interesting to me.
Yeah, that sounds very, in theory, plausible. In practice, I guess will take a while to get there.
Are there any cool tools that you guys are using on the webinar that you like? Here's a tweet that I found that had a pretty cool list. I'll drop it in here, but it was kind of the usual suspects. ChatGPT solves anything. Jasper AI writes anything. Synesthesia is actually really cool. I've heard a lot of salespeople using this. Essentially, you make a talking avatar, so you can be like, hey, Logan, hey, Ilya, hey, Sandra, but you actually only record one track, and then you can do some selling stuff against that with some cold or some email stuff. So Synesthesia is interesting. AI Lawyer, do not pay. Dahlia E2, we're kind of messing with that right now with our generative AI with some really, or I think we're doing Stable Diffusion. I don't recall. We're using one of the two, right?
We're using all of them.
All of them, yeah. Repurpose IO, auto post to social media, amazing. Jenny AI, write essays, fascinating. 3D modeling, interesting. Fireflies, your text to speech, Murph, timely, track time, chatbot live. So anyways, there's not a short amount of tools out there, but I think what's going to happen is, or at least my hope is that it drives more deep thinking, because at the end of the day, like a lot of these things, like the better that prompt is and the better the question you can ask in the way that matters, it's going to just really skyrocket your ability to get answers that are closer to the final product versus having to keep iterating on that. Or at least that's my thesis. What are your guys's?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I feel like I've built my entire career just on Google and trial and error. So I feel like it's just the next evolution of that. Maybe maybe I think for sure some like levers that we pull will get replaced, but I don't know. Maybe an AI will. I think the creative brain, I guess, is where I struggle in seeing how AI overcomes us, but maybe Ilya and Logan can put me in my place with that one. I think for sure on the more technical side of the brain. I forget which is left and which is right, so that's fine.
So left
It,
left
it,
is
it, it,
technical.
it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to replace necessarily creative people. What AI can do is it can improve the process for you. So even like 20 years ago, when I was studying for a master's degree, they told us about a case where a designer who was very good at making drawings by pencil, he wanted to upgrade his career. He wanted to go beyond just making drawings with a pencil. And he saw more and more people use Photoshop and other tools that increased the speed of working. And so he had to learn the new tools in order to produce more content first. And then he built a team and taught them how to do it faster as well. And eventually there was some like success story for him. The point is that as the new tools arrive, you got to learn how to use them to become more efficient. And the same goes for creative people nowadays when they can use AI tools to just do repetitive, boring, slow work and get more done with the same amount of time from given human.
Yeah, and Ilya,
Love
you you had tweeted something the other day about like how to get the teenagers you have at home to think a bit deeper or expand their mind on like what further education could be, like going to college or what kind of career path you would take because of the way AI is molding maybe the future. So if you had to guess what marketing job gets replaced first,
Ooh.
what would you say?
I would say I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I don't. Yeah,
What a
I don't know.
cop-out.
Like I don't know what to teach the teenagers. Like what they should be learning.
Let's have some fun with this. Let's make a poll. So let's build a poll. So what's the job? What job gets
What's the
first?
marketing job? Yeah.
I mean, I think
What
you have your
marketing?
content writers, right?
Hold on, let me type this one. What marketing job gets
I would,
got first?
I would
Okay.
add media buying.
You got
Media
media
buyer.
buying, you have content
Okay.
writers, you have creatives, right? The people who like take the photos and
There's
whatever, edit them.
creatives,
Operators.
operators. Do we like
What do they do?
operators? Yeah. What's the chat say?
Well, unless you want to just keep it marketing. Do you just want to keep it marketing?
Yeah. What marketing job gets got?
Oh, okay.
People that massage the data in Excel.
Data analyst.
Oh yeah, like data analysts. Yeah.
All right. One more. What else you got?
Who's
Media
on your
buyer,
team? Robbie, you're the
content writers.
CMO. Who else? Who
Yeah.
are you gonna replace?
I mean, social. You got social media.
Ah,
organic-
Tommy's out. See you, Tommy.
Tommy's done. I love you, Tommy. Get
Get
out.
Product
outta
marketers. Yeah.
Okay, you got social media, email marketing,
Yeah, email marketing.
and this is going to be a massive poll. Email marketing, community,
Brand marketing.
customer service. That's not really. Some people consider that a marketing role. I do, but we don't have it in our.
Head of brand.
You
CMO.
son of a. I love your brand takes, by the way. I think you're spot on. People don't get it. People don't. So for people that don't know, Ilya had another really fun tweet about how he just bought his second car. Congrats. Sight unseen. And that's the power of branding. 100% with you. And then you
You
came
didn't
back.
want to drive it. You just said, "No, I want that." Because
I knew I want the car, like the brand, and so I used the mobile
Candidly, I
app
did
to
the same
buy it.
thing.
And
Yeah.
filled out all the documents in the app like in 5 minutes.
that's awesome.
You guys, it's not about brands. It's about vehicles.
But the best part, oh, shut up, you're a car guy. Get out of here. You get this. How about those instas I've been sending you? Come on. Heat, right? That feed is fire. But the best part about it is you came back with the wrong brand and the queen of the house said, no, no, no. And she made you go get the right brand of Band-Aids, which is really interesting because that's why I think Disney's such a robust company, man.
It was the kids
Like,
who sent me back to CVS
kids-
to pick up other Band-Aids. Because
Your
I bought
daughter,
some
right?
I picked up some D2C brand, which is becoming popular nowadays for the Band-Aids. And probably their product is better, at least the way they describe it. It's like
Yeah.
flexible and so on. So I came with that home, proud that I'm supporting D2C ecosystem. And then my 4-year-old sent me back to buy some frozen.
Give me the
Band-Aids.
princesses, Dad.
Exactly. Yes.
I want
It's
what's
the
her face
power of
on
branding.
Elsa on this Band-Aid. Give it to me.
Talk
The,
about
the
being
hill efficiency
franchises.
ratio is much better on the Elsa Band-Aids.
The franchises. Amazing. Okay, we just dropped it in there. Product marketers, product design, amazing. We'll see what goes this poll. You guys, we can vote too, right? All right, who am I
Yeah.
going to vote for? I mean, I think the marketing job that gets got first is data analyst. Personally, I think one of the things that computers do the best is looking at big data sets and finding patterns, and that's actually like something we're
That-
exploring now.
Not when
It
you get
really
into
depends on
Hadoop.
how really
This
depends
is your
on
chat
what
GPT,
answers.
but this is your chat GPT thesis. This is kind of where we're heading down as well. If we could build out some natural language querying against all your data, like what's my LTV? When's the best time to acquire customers? What's my return rate from people that buy from Facebook? Like we have all this data and you can derive it from Triple Whale, but you need the sophistication to understand what to ask, how to ask it, etc. But if you build these queries, you can even have pre-built queries. And it's just like, dude, give me this, give me this, give me this. And you don't need to have that requisite knowledge of what's going on. You just need to know what you want. And I think
I
that
wish,
is
I wish I
step
could agree
change.
with you, but I don't, because from what I'm seeing is the results you need to come to, they're not always based on just what's true. They're often based on what is expected from those results. So I'll give you an example. I've been spending too much time probably recently looking into media mix modeling, the MMMs, something that all the larger brands really care about.
Yeah.
And I've been reading lots of literature and playing with different models. And in each single one of them, there is always a step of look at the results. You got like 20 models built. Look at the results and find the one that matches your expectations the most. Take that to your leadership team. Because if you're going to come back with a model that maybe is from science perspective the best model, but it tells you that all the TV spending company was doing for the last 2 years is nothing, and all your money should go into Pinterest, you'll be left out of the room. So the
but that could
outcomes of
be
any
again, but that could be solved with what channel should I spend the most money on?
True, but if you are
So like you're proving my thesis for me. Like I don't have to understand how any of this modeling works. I can say, do you want, it's essentially choosing attribution models. You say, what attribution model fits your business? Look at this curve. Does it overlap over what you see in your revenues? Or if you have a 30-day shift, we'll shift it over. You do some fancy math, bish, bash, bosh. Which one do you want? Like what that's my whole point is like having all that data run through an algorithm with different modeling is way more efficient than having a really high paid analyst go through a bunch of data to then visualize it, to then find the patterns. Like that's why I think oncology and things of that nature will get replaced way before nurses. Like bedside manner is a really, really hard thing to replicate digitally. Yep. Figuring out what causes cancer, and especially, and I'll stop ranting here, but especially in the medicine world, like that knowledge becomes instantaneously available to the whole neural network. So now every single digital doctor on that network just got smarter because they're like, oh, this was actually cancer, but we didn't identify it. Let's add it to the new way to identify cancer. And so that's not how it works today, where it's like Dr. X on Bill Street and Dr. Y on Sally Street. They aren't really practicing the same medicine. Anyways, end rant.
All right. Well, it seems only 10 votes though. We got 33 people in here. Why don't you vote and go to the polls?
Hit the
Data
polls,
analyst
people.
is still number one. It's number one right now. I'm in the content bucket.
Content writer coming. Okay, give me the content thesis. I'll bite.
Well, I think it could do it. I think if you gave it prompts, if the CEO says, I want an article about XYZ, it's going to do it. And then I think that SEO, there's a couple, I don't know which one of those that I gave you earlier out of the list. Someone was doing some cool SEO AI stuff where it would identify keywords and then would actually write content for you based on best practices in SEO, like to ensure you rank for it. And so I feel like that whole process, I think that's still around right now and still very popular, but it was really popular almost a decade ago, like ranking on Google and all this SEO talk, like Moz, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Moz, like at its peak, like almost, I mean, 10 years ago, but let's go 5. And I think all that could be automated. And AI could help you build those out.
What about you, Sander?
I'm arguing media buying.
Content writer actually came up. Content writer coming through. Logan,
I made my case.
Your stump speech worked. Unbelievable. You beat me out. 40% are his content writers. Okay, Sandy. So where are you at? You're media buying.
I mean, yeah, I think we're already seeing it with Performance Max and Advantage Plus. Performance Max has already taken over Google. Most people on Google put
Agreed.
80% of their budget there.
That's fair.
Advantage Plus has a ways to go. I think if Facebook can bridge their opt out on the whole iOS 14.5, then they can get a lot more data in that I think would be helpful. Not helpful on that side, but I still think with Facebook's data set, they should eventually be able to bridge that. And so to me, I think the media buying function, and we already see it right now, even on Facebook. It's not about audience testing, it's about creative testing. And so that's where I think creatives will be way more valuable than media buyers who are pulling levers. I mean, to support Ilya and Logan, the rules engine and different things we have, I think also is a step in the right direction. So yeah, I think that's my argument.
I actually would agree with this, and I think it's a bad semantics, like the nomenclature was just not precise enough, because I think the only difference between a data analyst and a media buyer is that media buyer understands how to deploy those insights. And so a lot of times the best media buyers are really good data analysts, where they can go through a bunch of data and understand, like, here's how I should shift budget, or this is some really awesome indicators here, there. And so I think if you squash those two together, I think that we both have the same thesis.
I think there's still, my one argument to that is the marketing mind. Most analysts don't have like a marketing mind. And to me, that's a pretty big differentiator. I think to your point, it's that proactive component, or the what to do component.
Yeah, this kind of goes back to like how the automated data analyst would cut brand. It would literally like just fire everyone on the brand team and stop all brand. They would say no whaleys, no nothing. This is a waste. We can't attribute it anywhere. And then the human would say like, wait a second, no, this is really impactful. Like this is the community. It's like no.
It's like pre-crime.
You just need a 3-year measurement window,
3 years.
Shout out Pinterest attribution.
Yeah,
if you know, you'll get that joke if you run.
The hard thing is the LTV component. That's the hardest thing to met. That's like what takes time, because I guarantee customers who go to the Whaleys will have a much higher LTV than those who don't. Now, there's obviously a lot of other variables in there, but
to be fair, I don't think like we have incredible economics. It'd be really hard to have like D2C economics and throw an event like this. So that's one of the cool things of working for I get to hang out with the coolest kids, D2C, but I have like rich, boring people budget. And so it's like the best of both worlds. It's amazing.
I wasn't knocking on the event. I'm knocking on the idea that the AI would tell you.
I don't know. Somehow your ticket got lost in the mail. I don't know. I'm not.
All right, Logan.
Unbelievable. Ilya's coming there throwing
shade.
I invite him on. The whole product team.
All right, let me try to redeem myself. I got a cool idea here that I want the people to hear, and I need your feedback on.
Okay. One little interjection before you go. If you all have any, we've been a little loosey-goosey this episode, but it's hump day. The Whaleys are next week. But if you guys have any questions about Triple Whale or anything like that, fire them in the chat and we can absolutely answer those as well. We've pretty much made it through all of our programming. And so this is just more so riffing, having fun, talking about artificial intelligence, which I do think is going to be a step change. But if you guys have any questions about anything tactical, strategical, Triple Whale, just pop them in the chat. Okay, Logan, the stage is yours, my friend.
Section. Put them in the question
box. Question section. Thank you, Sander.
I feel like we're recording a podcast.
It feels podcasty. I like it. It's a good vibe, right? It's a good vibe.
But maybe after
4
this,
boxes is strong. This is good.
Yeah. We should probably tease a little bit of what's coming out next week. That way people get a little bit of something from Triple Whale. All right. So here's something I thought of while I was reading about the current marketing AI products in the market. This is going to be a little wild, so sorry. But I'm curious what you think if this could be possible soon. So imagine a world where Facebook is like, let's use Facebook as an example. Google could do it too. They build their own automation, right? They have Advantage Plus. They have AI built in. All of a sudden, they start to take your photos, maybe with your permission. They take your photos and start to do generative AI with your content. Now, all of a sudden, they're interjecting products into your daily life. Like, let's say it's you in the kitchen and it's like a piece of cookware, or it's a new mop, or you're out in the open and it's like, it's cross net. And all of a sudden, instead of a volleyball net, you're playing cross net that Facebook found. And so now you're sharing all these photos of like, I don't know, what do you guys think? Do I look good with this new product? Like, should I get this? And now it's like this whole new world of UGC of things that never even happened. but it's like they're being served ads with themselves intertwined with the product.
I would become a UGC creator immediately.
I low-key
I'll
love
become
that.
UGC creator, and I'll be suddenly on the Alps. I'll be suddenly surfing and doing all the things I've never done in my life and probably will never do. But I'll immediately leave the best.
I hate that world.
lifestyle.
I hate it so much.
Selling things that never happened. That's such an interesting line.
Wait, did you
Wow.
guys see? Did you see all those AI images of like the house party?
I don't think so.
Same,
Oh,
Amy. Same.
I need
That's
that.
trippy.
I'll find a link to it.
That's a really interesting idea, Logan. I
I
mean,
just
so
think
there's a
that Facebook could own that whole world because they have all the content and your interests. So you could now be served this ad that is you with the product in whatever, like even in real world aspects of your past life, your trip to Hollywood, your event at the Whaleys, the time you have your water bottle in your hand and now you have the competitors. It's just like whatever, clothes, anything.
they're doing a little bit of it now, but to your point, it's not at the scale and the long tail. You can make a lot of money, all that YouTube, all these things. But so there's some like football or soccer matches where essentially the digital screens are essentially like green screen. They're actually a feed, and depending on the geography and stuff like that, you'll actually see different ads. So like if you were like, just to make it if you were in the Netherlands, but then somebody else is in Germany, they might see this. So there's actually different inventory that they're selling against. So it's not exactly, the AI stuff makes it really interesting, but it's close-ish is what I'm trying to get at. But that's really interesting. I mean, wow. Huh.
Look
I do
at-
think. Oh, go ahead,
Go
Sandra.
ahead. I was gonna say, look at those photos from Midjourney that I put in there.
Yeah, I just looked at those. They are pretty creepy. It's like
Yeah,
it's like old
not
school.
real people.
Yeah.
Ooh, powerful Leslie Kramer just jumped in with a question. Let's go. Let's get the train back on the tracks, Leslie. I love it. We were always going to be a little quirky. It's AI, you know. Is this even us talking? Is
This is my avatar.
Your name is Logan, right? Is there any plan to add affiliate platform integrations to TDub, such as Impact or Up Promote? That's a really good question. Ilya or Logan, you guys want to jump on it?
Sure, we would definitely love to do that, but unfortunately, it's not in Q1 plans. Is it
Okay.
in Q2? It very much could be. Just right now, we start thinking in quarterly plans, and I can say that in Q1 it's not there. But definitely, we've heard the feedback. We want it because people, if they have many affiliates, they don't want to type in all of them at the costs and so on.
Magical. There is speaking of working in quarters, there's a really great article by David Sachs called The Cadence that will go through why SaaS companies do really well working through quarters. Amazing, Leslie. It's just so many UTMs. I know. We'll try and help you out sooner than later. Leslie, thank you for the first question. If you want to hit me up at Rob at Triple Whale, get you some Triple Whale merch. Send me your address and your size, and we'll get you some fun stuff sent out. Speaking of quarterly plans, Ilya, you want to talk about kind of what we have coming down the pike? There's some really exciting stuff that is. Are we allowed to spill tea yet or no?
That
I
depends
think
on
the AI stuff
the
would be kinda
keynote
cool.
content next week.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know. So do you want to prime it, Logan, or do we just keep it for next week, or what's the best SOP?
I think
here?
Prime would be good because I think everybody here is probably, if I were to say our customer segment, these guys are primed to join the live event if they're not already coming. So
great point. Let me
you know what I
show.
mean?
I'll
Like the
drop that
conversion
link.
rate on this
Great
audience
plug.
would be pretty good.
Great plug. Amazing. Okay, take it away, Ilya.
Logan, you want to start with your most favorite product?
Ooh, my most favorite. Well, I mean, the generative AI is really cool. The photography and creative stuff, but I'll let you talk about that because you can talk more sophisticated than I can. But
That one, I think that one AJ will cover in the keynote.
yeah,
More thinking about like the things that we're working on and we're shipping.
Oh, you and I,
next
like
week, for
our
example.
side of things. Yeah. Well, I am really excited about customer journeys. I think anybody who already uses that feature, it's going to get a big upgrade. So I'm excited for what that could be. And like, I think the tool already looks beautiful from a UI perspective. We just got to feed it more data and give you more flexibility. So just know that's coming. So like granularity and flexibility is coming. And then I am really excited about some work we're doing on the post-purchase survey side. I'm not sure how much tea I can spill there, but I think it'll be really impactful to your entire business, especially if you're a Pixel customer. Some of the work we're doing there is going to be huge. So we'll likely have more information like within 2 to 3 weeks, I would say. And if you want to be more like a beta user on some things, like let us know. Hit us up and we'll see if we can't get you into that world, because you get access to things a bit faster than the general population.
Oh yeah.
Two questions.
The big man.
Okay. Customer journey.
Yeah.
Are we able to slide the time so that we can change the percentage of when people are converting instead of it being dynamic?
You might have to explain further. Slide the time.
So
the number
let's say
of
we
people-
choose Facebook. It shows 6 days. You have 72% of your users convert.
Uh-huh.
Can we slide that time to be 3 days, and then it changes that percentage? of
Like
customers
how many
converting
people
on
convert
Facebook?
within 3 days rather than the average?
Yeah,
That's interesting. That's the first I've heard of that.
I put it in Canny.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I must have missed that. No, I really did look
Passive
through all-
aggressive dig. Oh, I love this.
Well,
sorry.
I don't know
Federal
how
covers
much
it,
Kenny gets checked on. I don't know.
No,
how
I
to
checked
do
it for my for this outline for that. So I'll go back and I'll put it on our list, because that's an interesting ask. Because right now it's definitely an average between each stage.
Yeah.
But I wonder if something like that, could be solved with attribution windows that are customized. So only show me an attribution window within 7 days, 5 days, 3 days,
Yeah.
right? Because if it's Facebook to purchase, then we could show you how many converted within 3 days or something. That's neat.
I like that. I think that gets to the point. So I like that. All right. I don't remember what my second question was, but it was post-purchase survey. I'll just say everyone get post-purchase survey. At least get
And
a
they're,
post-purchase.
and they're getting a big upgrade. Yeah. So
Okay,
it's
yeah,
gonna
I
be
mean, I'm
very
meeting with customers every day. It's crazy how many purchases and revenue. I would say I see an average increase of 20% to people's revenue when they add a post-purchase survey with Facebook. So it's really, really bridging the gap having that zero-party data. And ours
Yeah.
is free. And they're
That
great
PPS.
partners as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
That's
about to make it
amazing.
even better. So getting in on, I mean, not just getting in on our survey, but I mean, that'd be great. That's going to get better. But the attribution side of things is going to get a lot better too with that data. So make sure you have it and you're storing it now. It'll help you. So
Love it.
And it's super easy to set up. It's literally like a couple clicks, especially our V1 right now. V2 will have a bunch of bells and whistles on it. But yeah, it's definitely really closes the loop as well. Speaking of meeting with customers, Sonder and 2 other really, really smart, amazing, bright people are going to have a new initiative called Ocean Hours, where they'll be just holding an hour block where you guys can hop on and just ask ad hoc questions, strategic, tactical, and then him and 2 other colleagues can jump into breakout rooms with you guys. So be on the lookout for that. We will send that out, the deets on that. But the next week is the Whaley, so going to be in 2 weeks, but there'll be standing time on Tuesday, so getting that ironed out. But that is going to be really cool. Are we talking generative AI stuff yet, or we'll save that for next
I
week?
think
or-
we're talking about some of the exciting features coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I think there are a couple more in Q1 that will excite people, like subscription analytics. So being
Whoa,
able
whoa,
to
whoa.
integrate with subscription platforms, and then
Such as a recharge, or
recharge and a few others, and then see the data in the pixel.
Amazing.
So what's my conversion rate into subscribers? What's my churn rate? So maybe you're buying lots of traffic from TikTok, and let's assume it gives you better ROAS, but then you see that the churn rate there is higher after 1 month. Or maybe some other channel. So bringing subscription data into the platform and then bring it into the pixel page as well.
Oh, I love
Awesome.
that.
That's one of the things.
That's huge.
Another one,
That's so huge.
Another one, cleaning up your data in Pixel. So people not always clean up their UTMs. And so we see like on the Pixel page, on the first all page, we see lots of sources that are essentially emails from Klaviyo, but they just have incorrect UTMs. Or you see in organic and referral that your own domains, your subdomains, they're showing up in the journey. Maybe
Mhm.
Klarna, maybe shop payment app, and other payment gateways show up there as well. So we're going to give tools to people and some rules there that we'll create globally that will help clean up all the data and get just more signal for your paid channels.
Oh,
Amazing.
so beautiful. Will help the
That's
linear
amazing.
so much.
And
Yeah,
then
that's
also being able to look at the data in a different way. So today, Google Ads, you can have brand search campaigns and you can have non-brand search campaigns, but it's all still Google Ads. So if your brand search is doing really good, which it usually does, really high ROAS, it inflates ROAS of the whole Google Ads channel when you're comparing just different channels. So being able to group the data differently. Maybe I want to look at all of my brand search across Bing, Google, and anything else versus everything else. Or I want to look at all my prospecting campaigns across all of my paid channels versus all of my retargeting campaigns. You can group it that way as well. So it's different views on top of the data that we already have. So that one is probably coming Q1 as well.
Oh, wow. We got a lot coming down the pike. That's exciting. Amazing,
Awesome.
amazing. What do you got, Logan? Did you take all your thunder?
Well, I just went. I mean, gosh, how much more do I have to get out here?
You're
Well,
telling
I'm not speaking for the other PMs.
just
So
here
like,
so I
I
don't
mean,
get fined.
the CDP thing will be great. A customer data platform, like it's our first
Yeah.
foray into it. And I think
Yeah.
so. Here's two things. If you're already using Klaviyo, you've already been using a CDP when you build all your segments and your audiences, right? So we built a similar function to that melds together Shopify data with Pixel data. So you can understand, like, show me all customers that clicked on X ad in X time frame. That's going to be available. The reason why you want to build these in Triple Whale versus, and you would also want to build them in Klaviyo for those uses. But what I'm really excited about is being able to visualize the growth of those audiences over time. So not only can you see like how maybe VIP segments are growing over time, you could look at that. You could also see like what the predicted LTV of that entire audience is, which is pretty neat. And then you could automatically connect it to Facebook, and we'll make a 1% lookalike audience against the criteria that make up the segment.
Oh, that's sexy town. Man, I love that. What else do I got? What do you guys think of direct mail? Total side tangent, but I was just talking to Drew from Postpilot. You think that's gonna have resurgence?
I feel like I might have been one of their early users. I loved it. I mean, I love the experience.
I did too. Me too. Does anybody that's still watching use Postpilot or any sort of snail mail? Oh, you do, Leslie? You guys like it? Yeah, I think there's just something to it. They're doing these little catalogs. It's funny because it's like what's old is new again. Because some of the biggest businesses back in the day were built off the back of a mail or a catalog, which is crazy to think about, right? Especially like most young kids that grew up in like the Amazon era or Post. It's like they don't get, like, you would get this dead tree with pictures on it that's huge delivered to your house, and then
East Bay catalog.
Yeah, East Bay.
Remember RIP, right? Or what was the one that just got? It was East Bay, right?
Yeah.
Amazon sends it out now as well. Like every year, they would send out closer to Christmas.
Really?
They would send out pretty large paper catalog with toys for kids. And my kids just love it. They would just spend days and days, I want this from Santa. I want that from Santa. It's like the whole book. They want the whole book eventually, but that's very I had the same experience in my childhood, not Amazon.
Yeah,
so,
that's beautiful. I'm not familiar with Lead Post, Leslie. Oh, go ahead, Logan.
No, sorry, I don't know Lead Post either, but one thing I want from a marketing standpoint, it's like the only way that I can think of that you can guarantee deliverability or access to customers who've unsubscribed.
100% open rate, dog.
I think. I mean, it's like you could do Facebook targeting, but you don't really know if you're getting to those people correctly. And this is like the only way you can like legitimately reach out to unsubscribers, I think.
Yeah, I think that not only that, I do. So we would use it. I think there's 100% ton of wisdom there. The way we would just print money would be people that were used to spend a bunch of money, but essentially lapsed. So it'd be like almost like just trying to activate a new customer. And so we would just calculate it as essentially like a new customer acquisition. Anybody that didn't, for the businesses I was working on, that didn't buy within like 18 months, it was like, I consider you a new acquisition. I'm not like retaining you anymore, if that makes sense. But we would use all the kind of CDP stuff that you talked about in Klaviyo where it's like, here's some really high predictive LTV, but we haven't realized that potentiality yet. But
They
amazing.
actually have like
Yeah, win backs less. Exactly. Fantastic stuff. I
I have
love
the
that.
mailer right here.
Boom, kids, look at that.
15% off. I don't think it works anymore, but
Go.
anyway,
That's heat.
It's
That's
even
heat.
Grateful Dead. It's
It's
targeted.
heat,
Yeah.
baby. It's G.
super targeted. We made one for
G-up.
both audiences, but yeah, it was cool.
I love that. Yeah, I think it's interesting. And now that if you're only doing like product stuff, Shopify allows you to send discounts or attach a discount to a product link now, which is so nice, because before you'd either have to be like, oh, put this in at the discount or whatever, but now you can show like you have that special link, and so you can attach it through. There was something when I was running marketing stuff that I always wanted, and I just discovered that. So I don't know how long that's been out, but it's fantastic now. It's really easy to send people where it'll just automatically do that. Did you ever have those people that would just make the absurd discount codes? Like it was like, are you trolling me? Like,
You mean like
happy
it was super
Valentine's
long?
Day because I love you 1700 one or something. You're like, I'm never going to remember that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
what?
yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Like just absurdly long codes. Like, how did this get past things? Talking about AI, right? Like that's something like an AI thing would do. Like, why is this code 35 characters? Anyways, just the pet peeve days. We have 4 more minutes. What else do you guys want to jam on? Thanks for joining us, Ilya. You're a great fourth. We might need to bring the
you.
band back together some more. It's amazing.
All the greatest boy bands have 4. Backstreet Boys 4.
I
NSYNC
think
4.
so. I believe so.
98
right?
Degrees. 4.
98 Degrees. Those are the big ones. I can't think of. Yeah, I think so. Look at that. You might be the four wheels on a car. Come on.
3 Musketeers. So
The 3 Musketeers plus 1. I mean, the math. Okay, folks, let's wrap it up then. Not too many questions. Everybody's all hyped. Thanks for being involved in the poll. Oh, maybe we'll do a couple trivia. I also, if there's anybody watching from last week, I still owe you swag. I'll get it sent out. I promise. It's been a crazy time. Okay, before we
how do
sign
they
off,
join the live stream next week?
if
Is
you go
it
to
just
whaleys.com, scroll down. I think the stream live button is still taking you to the tickets. There are no tickets left. I'm so sorry. We'll have a bunch of other events coming up, so we'll make sure to invite all of you to that. But yeah, so just go to just go to thewhaleys.com, and then let's sign off with some trivia questions and give away some merch. Sandra, give me a trivia question.
About the T-dubs or just in general?
Whatever you want. You're like the most interesting man in the world. We have a cultured and educated listenership / viewership. I'm sure they'll figure it out. And they have Google.
My personality isn't one just to give a lame one, so it's going to be hard for me to just come up with a great one.
Okay, Logan, what do you got for me? We will come back to you, Sonder.
I was honestly going to use ChatGPT, but then it told me that it was at capacity. I was going to ask.
No, that's amazing.
you gotta
That
pay
would've
up.
been great.
$42.
I was going to ask it what a
good.
good question would be. If anybody has access, I think we should just use AI to do this, because humans are clearly not capable of coming up with good.
Yeah, you guys are over to.
Question
Ilya,
on
are you
top.
going to save them? What's a good
Save
trivia
them for what?
question?
Oh,
What's a
trivia
good
question.
trivia question?
I have no idea.
This is why
I'm gonna use AI too.
Yeah. Who's the founder of OpenAI? We'll start there. Toss it into the
Altman.
chats.
Well, founder or president, Sam Altman.
Sam Altman, Elon Musk.
That was almost as bad as when I was showing the answer on my screen.
Oh yeah,
Ilya, the question.
And you're like googling it.
Audible. Oh man, you're killing me. Okay.
Yeah, we need a different one.
I missed the instructions. Yeah, sorry.
So we lost everyone already. I mean, this is a easy way to get everybody to bail.
Yeah. What's the what's the soccer team called in Austin? Toss it in the chat, and then we'll
Way
send you
to go.
some
Soccer
swag.
team in Austin?
Yeah, we do. It's amazing.
We call
We
it
actually- we-
football in Europe. But
Oh, football. Excuse me. Pardon me. I should be more cultured than that. Okay. People are tired of our antics. Well, I will send all the swag out. I love all of you. Yeah. Austin FC. There we go, John. Let's go. Saved by the Bell. Amazing. Get in there.
free
Get in
swag.
there. Get you some swag. Hit me up at Rava. Send me your size and the address, and I'll get all that shipped out. We do have the 5 panels. If you guys want to get some 5 panels going in your life, Sonder, what do the people need to know?
Just get that post-purchase survey. I just can't recommend that more. It's just
Amazing.
more and more important.
Attach that PPS and go to the moon. LB, my favorite South Carolinian. What you got for me?
Oh man. All right, go try some AI tools. Get back to us on what's your favorite. Be on the lookout in the next week or two for some AI tools of our own. So make sure you're paying attention to the newsletters, right? Inside the
Yep.
Whale. You also need to have
Whale Mail.
Whale Mail. Make sure you're subscribed there. Tune into the live stream next week, which would be exciting.
Yep.
If you're coming, come say hi.
Yeah, let's go. All right, Ilya, take us home. What you got?
Yeah, Logan stole my idea, which is listen to the live. Like if you're not coming, listen to the live. There's going to be this big keynote from AJ. I think it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. And then, like Logan said, you can go to triplewhale.com/whalemail to sign up to all of our amazing communications. We did start curating a Spotify playlist, which is actually pretty good this week. That's called Whale Tunes. That goes out every week inside the Whale. It's fantastic, right? Like the naming is just on point. We're going to start some cool partner events called Whale Watching, which is great. So no whale puns go unturned over here, but I really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Again, this is one of my favorite parts of the week. And Ilya, it was really awesome. Thank you for joining us. You are always
Thank you for
a
having me.
gem and value add to the conversation. Logan, I get sad when you wear hats because your hair is so good, but you know,
Hey, when I get my
here
new
we-
5-panel,
alas.
webinar.
alas, here we are. All right, folks. Hopefully, we'll see you in Austin. If not, tune into the Whaleys. We're actually going to be streaming pretty much everything. So we're going to do at the Whaleys after party. We're going to have kind of like we actually have a blue carpet, literally blue carpet instead of red carpet, blue carpet. So it's going to be amazing with the backdrop. So we'll be interviewing going in. So a bunch of cool ways to get involved if you didn't get a ticket this year. And then obviously we can get you on the books for next year. But that's all we have for today's Whale webinar. Sonder, Logan, Ilya, really, really appreciate the time. Who is our Moby Dick? I don't think anybody's trying to kill us. We eat people. Didn't the
Integrations.
Whale integrations are Moby Dick? Yeah, try. You can get eaten from the inside with Moby Dick. It's a really interesting question, actually. Amy, you were so fun. Why don't you get some swag too? Let's go. Let's close it out on a heater. Hit me up.
There's the
Robbo.
Oprah. I mean, Robbo, we know and love.
You know, you just got. I want to get a T-shirt gun. You right? Anyways, alas, my boyhood dreams: a T-shirt gun and a Super Bowl commercial. But all right, now that you know my deep dark aspirations, let's do this. Thanks again, folks. What else we got? No State of the Whale Thursday. Yeah, and there won't be actually a whale webinar next week because everybody's going to be on deck for the Whaleys. But again, like we said, tune in. Oh, and don't forget to vote. triplewhale.com/vote for all your favorite D2C brands. And that's it.
Here's
Thanks
four other
again, guys.
things.
Trying to slam the door.
Oh, and
on us.
then
goodbye.
the wrap it up box. That's what I did.
All right, I'm hitting end event. Bye, guys.
Thanks, everybody.